Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, we are going to discuss the frequency response of a second order system with complex poles. So just consider this diagram. This is the second order system with the unity feedback. So feed forward transfer function, that is g of s, is given by this expression, and h of s is equal to 1, that is the feedback. Now if you evaluate the closed loop transfer function, that will be given by this expression. Now for the frequency response, first of all, we will have to determine the sinusoidal transfer function. So let's take this S domain function and we slightly rearrange it to represent it in the standard form. So we are dividing all the denominator terms with omega n square. So you will get this equation for the closed loop transfer function. Now let's replace this s with j omega that you can see over here. So this is our sinusoidal transfer function. Now in this we are going to assume that this omega by omega n, that is equal to u. So we can write down this equation like this, that ju square plus 2 zeta ju plus 1. And if I collect the real parts together, this can be written as 1 minus u square. So 1, this will be equal to minus u square, and the imaginary part is this one, j into 2 zeta u. So the real part is 1 minus u square and the imaginary part is 2 zeta u. Now let's calculate the magnitude of this transfer function, sinusoidal transfer function. So magnitude of the numerator is 1 and the magnitude of the denominator will be equal to the square of the real part plus the square of the imaginary part and square root. So this is the magnitude of this sinusoidal transfer function. Now let's calculate the dB gain. So dB gain will be 20 log of the magnitude of the sinusoidal transfer function. So that will be given by this expression. And this can be written like that. If you consider it in terms of the power, square root is power 1 by 2. When it will go into the numerator, minus 1 by 2, and that minus is considered over here. And now considering this in terms of omega by omega n, because we know that u is equal to omega by omega n, so we can write down the equation for the dB gain that is given by this expression. Now if we evaluate this one for different frequency ranges, let's suppose that the frequency is very small as compared to the natural frequency or the corner frequency of the system. So for that, this part will be in nearly 0 and this part will be approaching to the 0. So this term will be equal to 1 and the log of this one, log of 1 will be equal to 0. So for very low frequencies as compared to the natural frequency, the dB gain will be equal to 0. So the low frequency asymptote will be a horizontal line at 0 dB for the second order system to complex poles, to complex conjugate poles. Now if the frequency is very high as compared to the natural frequency, and if we evaluate this dB gain with the help of this expression, so if omega is very high as compared to the natural frequency, so this expression will give you this one, that is this part will be very high as compared to this part. So you can neglect this one, and as it is the square, so 1 minus omega square by omega n square will be simply equal to omega 4 by omega n 4, and taking the under root of that one, you will get this expression. So with the approximation that omega is very high as compared to omega n, we can write this expression like this, that this is equal to minus 40 log of omega by omega n. So high frequency asymptote is a straight line having the slope equal to minus 40 dB, and it will intersect the low frequency asymptote at omega equal to omega n. So if you place omega equal to omega n in this expression, so what you are going to get, this is going to be 1, so this will become 0 dB. So this will intersect the 0 dB line in the Bode diagram. Now let's consider our frequency is 10 times higher. So for 10 times higher frequency, we can from this expression we can write it like that 10 into omega by omega n, and this can be written like that minus 40 into log of 10 plus log of omega by omega n. So this expression will be like that. So for higher frequencies, you can see there is an offset of minus 40 dB. So basically it's a whatever will be the gain that you will get from here, it will be scaled, it will be having this term minus 40 dB. So basically after the corner frequencies, the gain will be decreasing for every decade by the 40 dB. So omega n is the corner frequency of this quadratic factor or the second order system having the two complex conjugate poles. Okay, so we have derived two asymptotes for this system. One is the low frequency asymptote, that will be horizontal line at the 0 dB, and the high frequency asymptote, that will be the line having the slope of minus 40 dB and will intersect the frequency axis at the natural frequency or the corner frequency of the system. Now let's talk about the phase. The phase is given as the tangent inverse of imaginary part divided by the real part. So imaginary part is 2 zeta u and the real part is 1 minus u square, and u is equal to omega by omega n. So using this we can define the phase of the second order system with the help of this equation. So if the omega is equal to 0, so what about this part? This will become 0, so and this will be 0, so phase introduced by your second order system will be 0. And if the omega is equal to omega n, so from this expression this is going to become 1, so the overall denominator is going to become the 0, so your this part will be infinity, so tangent inverse of infinity will be minus 90 degree. And if the omega is equal to infinity, that's very high frequency, so for that your phase will come out to be 180 degree. Okay, now let's look at the Bode diagram for that one, that as you change the frequency and you take different values of the zeta, how the response, the frequency response of the second order system will look like. So if you have very low value of the zeta, let's suppose that is equal to 0.1, and if you sketch the Bode plot, the gain, if you calculate the gain and sketch it with over the logarithmic scale of the frequency, so your response will look like this, that it will show you a resonance peak close to the corner frequency. And as the zeta will be increasing, that is the damping of your system will be increasing, you will see a smaller peak, smaller resonance peak close to the natural frequency. So this is the response of your second order system to complex poles. Once your poles becomes real, here you can see if the zeta is greater than 1, then the response will be like that we have already discussed in the previous videos. So for the zeta less than 1, you will be observing a resonance peak, but if your zeta is significantly higher, then your frequency response will be like that. Now if I talk in terms of the asymptotes, this is the low frequency asymptote, a line of 0 dB, and at the natural frequency or the corner frequency from here onward, this asymptote will be of will be represented by this line, that is the line having the slope of minus 40 dB per decade, because there are the two pole. One pole will introduce minus 20 dB and the second pole will introduce further minus 120 dB. So total reduction per decade will be minus 40 dB. And if you look at the phase will start changing from 10 times lesser frequency of your corner frequency. The corner frequency is this one over here. So depending upon the value of the zeta, the phase will change from 0 to minus 180 degree. Minus 90 degree because of one pole and the minus 90 degree because of the other pole. So total phase change is of minus 180 degree. So for lower value of the zeta, this is the phase change. For as the zeta will be increasing, the phase change will become a bit slower as compared to this one, right? So this is the phase plot, and this is the gain plot. Variation of the gain with respect to the frequency and the variation of the phase with respect to the frequency. Okay, now let's calculate the resonant peak of the system, of this second order system. So here you can see the response is going to change as you are going to change the frequency. So over here the gain is changing, and if you look at the tangent, so the slope of the tangent at this point at the peak will be equal to 0. It will be a horizontal line parallel to this omega axis, frequency axis. So now using this we can find out the resonant frequency, because the point at which the slope of this graph is going to become 0, it means the derivative of the expression that is defining the magnitude, if that becomes 0, so at that point your frequency will be equal to the resonance frequency, the frequency at which the resonance peak is going to occur. Okay, so we know that the expression for the magnitude for this second order system is this one. So if we take the derivative of this one and set equal to 0, so at the frequency u equal to omega r or ur, you will get an expression that will help you to determine the resonance frequency. So what is ur will be equal to omega r by omega n, because u is equal to omega by omega n. So ur is representing the ratio of the resonance frequency with the natural frequency. So now let's take the derivative of this one. So this one over here, and if we take the, we can write it like that, and if we apply the derivative rule, so that can be written like this. So finally we will get this expression, and if we set this derivative equal to 0, so we will we will be left only with this part, so that will be equal to 0. And if we take u equal to ur, because at this point when the derivative is equal to 0, the frequency will be the resonance frequency, so replacing u with ur, we will get this expression, and this can be written like that. Okay, now this expression has two parts, this one and this one. So the product is 0, so it means either this part is 0 or this part is 0. So if we take this part equal to 0, it means u of r is equal to 0, it means resonant frequency is 0, so that is not possible. So we will set this part equal to 0. So by taking this one equal to 0 and solving it for ur, so we can write the ur like that, that is the omega r by omega n will be equal to 1 minus zeta square under root. So from here we can say that omega r is equal to omega n into 1 minus zeta square. So this is the resonance frequency, the frequency at which the resonance peak is going to occur, and that will be calculated by knowing the value of the omega n. So 1 minus zeta square will be less than 1, because the zeta is less than 1. So your resonance frequency will be smaller than the natural frequency, and if the zeta is equal to 0, so then your resonance frequency and the natural frequency will be 0. And if the zeta is equal to 1, so if the zeta is equal to 1, this part will become 0, so you do not have the resonance, because there is no peak, as you can see over here, for the zeta is equal to 1, or when the zeta is higher than 1. Okay, So with the help of this expression we can find out the resonance frequency. So resonant frequency omega r is given by this expression, and the zeta is definitely is in the range from 0 to 1. So if the zeta becomes 0, your resonant frequency becomes equal to the natural frequency or the corner frequency. When the zeta is equal to 0.707, usually you will observe no resonant peak in the frequency response of your system. Okay, we will also derive this condition that when the zeta becomes 0.707, and then there will be no peak. Okay, now let's calculate the resonant peak, that is let's suppose equal to mp or mr. So at the frequency equal to omega r, you will get the, if you replace omega with omega r in the expression of the magnitude, the magnitude expression for this transfer function, for second order transfer function, we have that one given by this equation. Okay, so if in this, if you take u is equal to ur, and it means you are solving it for the resonant frequency, so you will get the magnitude corresponding to the resonant frequency. So at resonant frequency you have the peak, right? So you can determine the peak value by replacing u with ur in this expression. So now let's calculate that peak. So we are going to replace omega with omega r in this expression, so that will be given by this expression. Okay, so now we know that ur is equal to 1 minus 2 zeta square. We have derived it earlier. So ur square will be equal to 1 minus 2 zeta square. So replacing this ur with 1 minus 2 zeta square, because of this negative sign, so this is going to become plus. So this term, and then 2 zeta into ur. So ur is 1 minus zeta square and the square of this part. So this will be the peak at the resonance frequency. So this can be written like this, because these two will be cancelled out. 4 zeta power 4 plus 4 zeta square into 1 minus 2 zeta square. Okay, so if we simplify this one, we can write it like this, and further simplifying, collecting combining these two terms, so we can write it like this, and then finally we can write this expression. So the peak value at the resonant frequency will be given by this expression. So what is the condition over here, that this part should be real one, right? So if the zeta approaches to 0 in this case, so what about the peak? The peak will be approaching to the infinity, because 1 by 0, that will be infinite. Now secondly, in order to have this square root, 1 minus zeta square should be greater than 0. If it is less than 0, that this will become a complex number. So in order to have the real magnitude, so 1 minus zeta square should be greater than 0 at least. So applying this condition that it should be greater than 0, so from here you can write zeta square should be less than 1 by 2, and zeta should be less than 1 by under root 2. So zeta should be less than 0.707. If the zeta is less than 0.707, it means you will be having some resonance peak. But if the zeta is greater than 0.707, you will not observe any peak in your in the response of your second order system. So the range is this one, that your zeta can be varied from 0 to 0.707 to have the resonance. If your zeta is above 0.707, you will not observe the peak in your system. Okay, so if I summarize this video, what we have discussed, we have seen the frequency response of a second order system when there are two poles in the system, right? So those poles, if those are the complex conjugate pairs, if the zeta is between 0.707 and 0, then there will be the resonant peak, otherwise there will be no resonant peak in the response of the system. So the frequency response for the second order system is given by this diagram. That's all from this video. Thank you very much.